If you're looking for a pretty good engineered Gatling gun turret build where you're holding it, this is ideal. Now, the archetypes you're using will vary a little bit. You have Engineer, obviously, but your second one is either going to be the Explorer if your minions can't survive, which is a lot of micromanaging, but pretty good, or preferably you want Summoner, and you just have a minion alive. When a minion's alive, you get extra damage. That's nice. Also crit chance. But on the very last fight, which I'll be showcasing, I think, towards the end of the video, or I guess after this, I had to go Explore for the damage output. It's more micromanaging. It is kind of fun, but it's a hassle. Now, the overall gear is interesting because not everything affects your turret damage. If it says ranged weak spot damage, if it says ranged damage, that doesn't apply to your turret damage, which is not ideal. If it says skill damage, it does. If it says skill reduction or skill cooldown reduction, it does. If it says skill duration, it doesn't. It's strange. Anyway, Silver Ribbon, we got crit chance and crit damage for dodging, crit damage for just existing, weak spot damage, which does apply to your weapon. I've tested that. And raw damage. You'd be better off having, instead of Stone of Balance, the Burden of the Destroyer. It gives you 15% damage, but reduces the effective range of your weapons. I don't think it applies to the turret. I can't test it. I don't have it yet. So try it out yourself if you do get that. Otherwise, Stone of Balance is fine. And I think there's another ring you can get from Yeisha if you give her a seed, and that gives you reduced cooldowns. If you, I think, reduce cooldowns, but make sure relics take longer to cast. Who cares? Then your weapons, you got Fargazer and Harmonizer. Fargazer is nice because you pop that and it lasts 30 seconds and does apply the damage when ADSing with the engineered turret in your hands. Your main weapon, I got Corrosive rounds and feedback. The weapon of choice you're using, up to you. I like this 1860 and the tech in this case, so I used it. And Corrosive rounds, at start of a fight, you just pop that, shoot that, and then Fargaze and bust out your actual turret, and then get to mowing. Your armor can be kind of good because when you're using the engineered dodge itself, like with the weapon, you can have heavy armor and like the heavy flop, and it won't actually flop. You get a nice dodge. But I suggest medium armor to have a decent dodge and decent armor reduction. But you can, be your own person. Now the relic choice is also up to you. In this case, I have Diverting Heart. I don't know if that reduces the debuff. I could check it in a second. I'll leave yes or no on the screen if it does or doesn't. I got skill cooldown and skill damage. The last choice is up to you because the skill duration doesn't affect your turret at all as far as I'm aware. So you could maybe go extra health, extra damage reduction, or skill casting speed for both busting out your turret and busting out some holes in the ground if you're using Explore on the last boss like I did. It's definitely an interesting time. Your traits are going to be as follows. Flashcaster for sure, and the rest of them are, on the screen. I will say I wish Handler, or I wish that Long Shot applied to the turret, because the problem with this build is the fact that the last boss goes to Narnia and back, and when he's in Narnia, you do like 200 crit damage. When he's close to you, it's 700 crit. Imagine if he just wasn't in Egypt and or Long Shot worked for the turret when you're holding it. That'd be some damage, brother. Side note, make sure if your turret is on cooldown, like it needs ammo, pop some relics. If you pop relics, it brings back the ammunition, and I assume that you'll be a high enough engineer level where you have that perk, and that's a nice time. Enjoy some gameplay. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Peace. Come close, please, God. Dude, play the fucking game! What is that? How's it hitting me? I should have timing for this, I think. I got hit. I'm trashed.
I got hit, bro. I'm ass.
If I can run Summoner, it's better. But I can't run Summoner in this fight because he just kills them. There's too much AoE. Yo, this build brings the Rock and Stone to freaking Remnant 2. She's digging a hole, dude.